This video is for Module 2, Part 7, and includes a discussion of the font case study. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. So brand identity is an important component of a successful business strategy. For example, a logo is used for brand recognition, and often these logos include texts in which a choice of font has to be made. So let us consider an article by Doyle. Doyle studied the effect of font type on a brand's identity and its ability to build market share in consumer choice. Doyle conducted a small field study involving 40 people in which they were asked to select between two boxes of chocolates that were presented to them on a tray. To alleviate the potential effect of name recognition on consumer choice, fictitious names were used to identify the two brands. And those names were Temptation and Indulgence. The goal of this study is to compare the two different types of font, Signet font and also Salem font. So they were going to compare two different fonts here, the Signet font, which is the one on the left here, and the Salem font, which is the one on the right. They had to identify or give names to the two boxes of chocolates, and the names that they picked were Temptation and Indulgence. The research question here, is there a difference in the preference of the Signet font and the Salem font in the consumer choice of chocolates? The study outcome, a total of 30 people out of the 40 picked the Signet font. Now, to alleviate the possible effect of name on the selection, one half of the people were presented with the Temptation brand using the Signet font. So here you can see that the Signet font, which is the more scripted font here, Temptation is the name given to this box of chocolates. Indulgence was the name given to this box of chocolates, and that is presented in the Salem font. So half of the people were given a tray like this top. The other half were given a tray like the one on the bottom here. And the only thing that they've done is switch the font type associated with the names. So on this half, Temptation was given the Salem font, and Indulgence was given the Signet font. So half of the people were given the tray on the top, and the other half were given the tray on the bottom. So there's 4 questions here that I'd like you to try to answer. So hit pause and answer these questions here. Okay. Consider the following research question that's going to be considered here in our investigation. The research question is there a difference in the preference of the Signet font and the Salem font in the consumer choice of chocolates? There's the testable hypothesis here. The parameter in this investigation is just going to be the probability of selecting the box associated with the Signet font. So I've chosen to keep track of the number that picked the Signet font here. The number line is going to go from 0 up to 40. This is going to be set up under a parameter value of 50%. So the expected count is going to be 20 under a situation of no difference. If we're far away from 20 on the upper side, that's going to suggest that we do have a difference. And there's a preference for the Signet font on this end. Or we could be on the lower end as well. So this is going to be a two-tailed analysis, because that would suggest that there's a difference and a preference towards the Salem font. The study outcome here is 30. So I'll let you fill in the questions here. There's another set of questions. So go ahead and hit pause and answer those questions. The binomial probability distribution is going to be used again. It's going to be set up under the situation that I have here on the screen. We're going to use the binom dist function again. The number of trials is 40. As I've said, the parameter value is going to be 50% here, and the last argument is going to be false. So I'll let you go ahead and create a Google Sheet that, using this formula here, that can be used to obtain the p-value. Once you do that, go ahead and obtain the correct p-value, and then answer the questions that we have here on the screen. So go ahead and hit pause, obtain the appropriate binomial probability distribution, and then answer those questions there. Okay, so finally a little something extra down here on the bottom. So Doyle makes the following statement in their paper. We consistently found no interaction of gender with font. So what does the term interaction mean? Well, interaction is an important statistical term that is commonly used when considering two or more variables. So here they are considering the selection of font and also gender. Up above in our analysis, we ignored gender. We just combined the two genders together. So when we say two variables are said to have no interaction, what that means is that the pattern seen for one level, for example, gender, or for example, females, so the pattern seen for females is the same as the other level. So what that means here is that the pattern seen for the females is the same as the pattern seen for the males. So if we say that there's no interaction, that's what that means. They also go on to say that this equality between the sexes certainly should make life easier for the company that would use a font to project its brands in mixed gender markets. So what that means is that they don't have to worry about who is buying that box of chocolates. The effect is going to be the same across both genders. Now, in that article, they told us that 21 of the 40 respondents were women and 19 were men. Okay, so we can see 21 total females here in the table that I've constructed, 19 total males here. From the analysis up above, when I combined the two genders together, I knew that there were 30 individuals that picked the Signet font and 10 individuals that picked the Salem font. This table, the way that we have this organized here, this table is called a 2x2 contingency table. It's also known as a pivot table or a crosstab table. It's a 2x2 because this variable has two levels, and also gender has two levels here, females and males. Now, unfortunately, they didn't give me enough information to fill in how many females picked the Signet font or how many females picked the Salem font, and likewise for the males. So what I did here is just created two possible tables that would have that structure specified up above. In Table A, you can see that the numbers that I put in here were 16 and 5 for the females, and for the males were 14 and 5. So these are made up numbers because they did not provide enough information in their article to tell me the combinations here. So how many females picked Figna and how many females picked Salem font, likewise for males. But this could be one possible arrangement. In this arrangement, you can see that I have 21 females, 19 males, so 14 plus 5 is 19, 16 and 14 is 30, and 5 and 5 is 10. So this could be one possible arrangement that they had. Or this could be another possible arrangement that they had. So here you can see all of the females picked the Signet font, whereas the males appeared to be kind of indifferent. It's about equal across both fonts for the males. So go ahead and answer questions 11, 12, and also 13 here using these tables that I created, Table A and Table B. And then once you make those submissions, again, my answers will show up so you can check your answers for each of those. Okay, that does it for Module 2, Part 7. Thank you.